everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Ryan Ennis. Ryan, how are you doing, man?
I am doing swell. How about yourself?
Good. I put up a sign on my lawn that says, I survived the earthquake of 2017.
There you go. Do you have any harrowing tales for our listeners?
Yeah, this is the weirdest thing because if those that aren't like in our area or neck of the woods, there was, and I think they downgraded it. It was a 4.1 earthquake in Dover, Delaware, which is about 80 miles from where I live. And where I live, we have train tracks. It's like literally right across the street from my house. So I was in my restroom and I heard this like really loud noise. I literally thought it was a 18-wheeler or a big rig going over the train tracks because it made a noise similar to that. So I didn't think anything of it until I like turned my head and I saw like the side of the house in my bathroom shaking, like shimmying, and I'm like, "What the
That's
hell is
crazy.
that?"
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird, and I was like, we had one before, because me and you had talked about it a few years back.
Yeah, I think it was 2011.
Yeah, because where I'm sitting now, to my left, there's a window like towards like the where you can get into my house, like the front door, and I was like listening to music or doing something on my computer that day, and I saw the window like rattle, like shimmy a little bit, and I thought somebody was like banging on the window or like messing with me, somebody I knew. So I went and opened my front door and was like expecting someone to be at the front door, and there was like nobody there.
Yeah, I got a funny story for that. I had wind chimes that when I was a mover, I happened to somebody had it hanging on a tree and I liked them. So I put them hanging on a shelf in my room, not really near any window to ever chime. Like they just hung there as decoration.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there one day and okay, I lived above the train tracks. Like the train went directly underneath my apartment building.
Right.
So here and there, my china cabinet would rattle, and I'd hear the slightest of maybe one ting of the wind chime, but nothing ever like
Enough to
if
catch
the
your
wind.
attention.
Yeah, nothing even that big. That day, I'm sitting there, I'm on my computer, and all of a sudden, I hear the wind chimes, but like as if a violent wind had whipped through my bedroom. I was like, what? And then I felt the vibration. And as somebody who's used to having a train under the house and not feeling it, people would like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening? And I'd have to pay attention to hear it. This scared the shit out of me because my building was vibrated.
Yeah, that was like a first for me too. I didn't think about it, like, and you're just like, what's going on? Like, it didn't, your brain couldn't register it all at once,
Yeah, when I was in Egypt, I was in a pretty big earthquake. I don't remember if I was there at 91 or 92. Like, I know there was a huge one in 92, but that was after I had left anyway. It was October. But it was the summer of whichever year I went, and that was some crazy shit.
That's weird.
That was some real crazy shit.
I bet.
But yeah, I'm glad you survived, with absolutely no damage. I wonder if they make a movie about it, if they're going to try to get The Rock to play you.
Yeah, there you go. He could.
But yeah,
I don't know. He might have to stay out of the tanning bed for a little while.
I don't know. Otherwise, we'll get Bray Wyatt.
I just
Bray
have
Wyatt
to
is
grow my
Joey
hair
Rhodes.
out.
Oh, or he's got to cut his.
Yeah,
It's your
either
life
or.
story.
All right, before we get started with some review stuff for this week, there's a little bit of news. You sent me the one piece. John Cena is actually being sued. It was by Ford, isn't it?
Yes. Are you aware of what all the details are?
Yeah, you had I skimmed through it. From what I understand, he was given a, I don't remember the vehicle. Maybe you can go ahead and tell everybody because you had told me about
All
that.
right. Yeah, he apparently Ford makes a very limited number of high-end Ford GTs every year, and in order to purchase one, you kind of have to like apply to get one where you actually get interviewed and stuff like that, and like why you'd be a brand ambassador and stuff like that. And apparently he had to sign a contract that stated that once he purchased this $450,000 car, he would use it to be an ambassador and to promote through his social network for 2 years. And apparently within 3 weeks of him purchasing it, he sold it for a profit. And now Ford is saying that because he promised 2 years of ambassadorship, they lost it. Now their brand is hurt because this allowed somebody to get it who wasn't in line to get it and got one ahead of other people who were willing to pay. So I don't know how much of this is just like petty nonsense they're just going to shovel on top. Legally, I don't know. But it seems like they're getting him for every promise that was implied with his contract.
But Jesus, Cena, 3 weeks?
It was under a month, yeah. And
I'm just
apparently,
like, wow.
And apparently, like when he applied, he had to check a box that claimed that he met the terms and conditions, where it was stated that he would have to own it for at least 2 years. And it was at 2 different points because this just happened. Like the first payment was in September of this year, and then the second payment was upon delivery, I believe, which was either end of September or early October of this year. This crazy. Is very recent.
So he's screwed if he signed all that stuff.
Well, apparently they have text messages where he acknowledges that he was completely in the wrong, and that he said that he will do everything in his power to make it right, and hasn't up until this point, including not attempted to get the car back. And they're claiming a loss of $75,000. I don't know how they get such a monetary value on that, but it has to do with the fact that he said that he has like 25 million unique social media followers between the 3 Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's again, I don't know how the law works with these contracts, but his signature is on every one of them. Everything seems to be explicitly stated that, like, he's not just being duped, like, and there's like redundancy.
Yeah, like he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird charges, like intentional misleading, then unintentional misleading. It's interesting. That link I sent you actually has the actual lawsuit to kind of thumb through. But I forget what all those terms are.
I'll have to read the whole thing because I skimmed through it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is it a criminal thing? Absolutely not. He's gonna have to pay out some money though.
Oh yeah, like Lance said, if he signed a contract, he's screwed.
Yeah, and apparently it wasn't just once. It was more than once in multiple different fashions. This 2-year limit was explicitly noted.
Lance makes a good point. He said that he's pretty sure Ford would have the first dibs if somebody wanted to sell it or had to sell it, but he's not 100% sure. But that would make sense.
Well, yeah, because their argument is, okay, say there's 2 of them, and me, you, and Lance want it. You and Lance get it. Fuck. Now I'm out of luck because they only made 2 of them. Now, you or Lance decides that you want to go sell it to, Ryan Clark. Now, Ryan Clark has it, but I don't. I was in line. I was number 3. Ryan Clark wasn't even in line.
Yeah, now I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that's their argument. So now you may have a customer who's mad at the company because, look, now this guy has it. It's supposed to be an exclusive for 2 years. Yeah, it's supposed to be exclusive for 2 years, and now this other guy has it when I should have had it.
Yeah,
So, it's
that's crazy.
yep.
And
So
then the other bit of news that I just told you, actually, because I had read about it earlier. Chelsea Green, she's known as on the Independents, Laurel Van Ness from Impact, has apparently asked for her release from Impact.
that's interesting because don't quote me because I am 99% sure that it's her. I was pretty sure they just crowned her the new Impact Women's Champion at the last set of tapings after a tournament because if I remember correct, I was like, wow, that's interesting. So last time I remembered, she was like back to being Crazy Laurel.
Yeah, in the wedding dress.
Yeah, which I loved. I mean, I thought she was fucking amazing in that role. Like, I think that was as over the top as you can be before you get like Nikki Cross.
You beat me to it.
I mean, she's definitely growing on me. Like, I love her in the ring. I like the character. It's just if I could do without her fucking ring entrance, I'd be good.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's the only thing. Like, okay, we get it already. Like, you're crazy. But I've definitely turned to like I've turned my opinion on her. I like her quite a bit. I like the character a lot.
Yeah, she won you over.
Yeah. Fuck, there was something else.
Well, I do know this. This was the little bit of news, and it'll tie into Raw when we get into it in a second. Is it looks like Anthem and Impact are gonna drop the whole broken, going after the broken trademark.
Now, see, here's the thing. Because he apparently filed the trademark before they did, there's a date coming up very soon where he's gonna be given that trademark anyway.
Yeah, it was like from what I understand, and I'm no like legal person. Like he filed the trademark, like you're referring to, and whoever if there was anyone that like had an objection to it, they had to object within a certain time frame.
30 days. But
yeah.
I don't think that initial date had come. But with all the debt that company has right now and all the financial problems they are going through, I don't think it's a legal battle they really wanted to fight. But there's bigger implications for this now. If EC3 quits tomorrow or his contract ends tomorrow, he can leave and show up on television as EC3.
Interesting.
They're amending all the contracts they have to allow talent to leave and keep all intellectual property.
Simply because of this issue they had with Hardy?
Don't know if they're just trying to be a babyface, like, oh, look at us, we're trying to do the right thing.
Maybe because all the negative press.
Yeah, could be a good thing, but could you ever, like, Cody can't even use the last name Rhodes.
And it's basically almost his legal name.
Well, it's Runnels.
Right. But you know what I mean.
But yeah, I mean, think about all of the talent that can leave TNA and keep their gimmick.
Wow.
Everybody who didn't have it written into their contract.
That's very interesting.
Like, I don't know how Bobby Roode was able to. I don't know how James Storm was able to. Because I don't know what their contracts look like.
Yeah.
But now, all intellectual property going forward is going to belong to the talent. Well, they're going to allow...
You there, Rye? That's what I'm thinking, Lance. That they don't have the money to fight a lengthy legal battle.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, yeah, sorry, my controller had turned off. I put it down, and
it's all good.
All of a sudden,
Lance was basically saying they just don't have the funds to fight a lengthy legal battle.
No, And especially if they're not going to get anything out of it,
No.
like financially. I mean, it's only going to cost them, even if they win, they're still spending money to win.
Well, that, and it's probably going to hurt them more in bad press.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to really turn people off if it already hasn't, from what they've done with this situation with Matt over the last almost year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I don't think they have the money just to be going out and having these legal battles on things that they're really going to get no money from.
No, not at all.
But what's good is WWE is not going to use the Broken name. They're going to use the Woken name. So the Hardys are still going to be able to take the Broken gimmick outside of WWE. It doesn't even have to touch WWE. It's going to be the same gimmick, but WWE's legal name on it that they're going to control is Woken.
Which I think is fantastic for both parties.
Yeah. I mean, it's one letter. It's one syllable.
Yeah, and everybody knows the difference. I mean, you're not stupid.
And Matt's really been active on Twitter the last couple of days. You know, I never check Twitter because,
I know how you feel about Twitter.
Hey, did you see this on Twitter? My response almost every time is fuck Twitter.
Yeah.
But I've been interested because Hardy's been basically turning back. Like, he has a new video with Senior Benjamin, and he's asking for his battle gear, which is the red tunic that he would wear, or whatever you want to call it. I am looking forward to that. Like, that's got me hyped.
I don't know how true it is, but Vanguard 1 has a Twitter now, or it's back up.
I mean, I'm reserving a lot of my enthusiasm till I see what Vince McMahon allows him to do with that.
Yeah.
Because if he needed it at any point, it's right now.
Oh, God, yeah. I completely agree with that. It would be a very big shot in the arm for them, especially coming into Mania season.
I just hope that they give him the attention and the resources to build it the way
it should be.
Yeah, like, I don't want to say like how TNA did it, because that was over the top beyond words, but in the same vein as how TNA did it. Like, just let Matt do everything.
I know what you mean. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen. I will say that.
Yeah, like, give him a segment. Don't give him between interviews or between announcements. Give him a segment.
Yeah,
let that develop.
I agree with that. All right.
I'm very interested.
Well, let's get into it. What did you think of Raw this past week overall?
Nothing really memorable. I'd give it like a C.
Yeah, I'll say this, and I mentioned it to you earlier in the week. WWE, especially on more so Raw than SmackDown, they desperately need more tag teams.
Yeah, and they exist, and it could really revitalize that division.
Because my major issue is, and it's, when I say this, it's no knock on these talents. It's how many times can we see either Cesaro and Sheamus wrestle Seth and Dean either in tags or in singles matches over the past, 2-3 months? Like some variation.
Yeah, before it was like the Usos and the New Day.
Yeah, where they just beat it to death, where you're like, oh my God, I don't want to see these guys anymore. Granted, every match, I think, with the New Days and Usos was fantastic, but it's just, overkill.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, and it's so funny because I always say this when it comes to like job guys and having contracted guys job out to talent.
Yeah.
Is when you treat some tag team like job guys for so long, people watching the match already know who's gonna win
Yep.
or lose.
They've tuned
And
them out where they just don't care.
yeah, so even the people going over, it's like you're beating a job tag team. So it doesn't make
It doesn't
people
help
who
you.
were going over. Yeah, exactly, because Dolph Ziggler was saying all of this on, I think it was the Edge and Christian podcast very recently, like the last 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he was saying, was like he doesn't mind losing, but you know, it gets to the point that when he's coming out and people already know he's gonna lose, you know, like it makes him do it makes his job harder when people already know his opponent's gonna win. So how does he make somebody look good that the other people already know is gonna win?
Because they've devalued him to the point of everybody knows that he's not going to win.
Yeah, instead of ever having a real good competitive match where he just happens to not win, he's always in the situation where he's always losing.
Yep.
I don't know why you can't have like Los Primos,
Epico and Primo.
Yeah, I don't know why you can't just have them go out there and have a competitive match with Breezango one week. Doesn't have to be a gimmick. Doesn't have to be a squash.
Yeah, because remember they had repackaged them again for a while on SmackDown, and they were wrestling and having competitive matches, and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, that's my point. Instead of just having them come out and job, have them come out and give like a 10-minute match, you know, and you know, make it competitive, and then a couple weeks later have them fight somebody else and win. You know, so like.
No, it makes complete sense.
You know, so it's like, oh, you know, if these guys are gonna. So that if you do want to bring somebody in and you do want to put them over, you use one of your lesser teams, but your lesser team is already like has some credibility to it.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with that. I want your opinion. I know how you felt about the promo itself, but what do you think of WWE calling Paige's group Absolution?
Well, I didn't mind the Paige promo. It was the one the next night that.
Oh, it was the next. That was the other one. Excuse me.
Ruby Riot's was terrible, in my opinion. A lot of I saw Ryan Clark had a thread up talking about that, and a lot of people agreed that it was a bad promo by Paige. I personally didn't think so. I think people have a problem with her accent.
That's very possible.
Because I didn't think it was a bad promo. I didn't think she was bad. I just, you know, I mean, like, the one the next night I thought was far worse.
It was cringeworthy.
Oh, bro, it was so bad in my opinion. These are two of the most dangerous women in the world. Yeah, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. Yeah, when I think dangerous, I think Liv Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that, it was bad. But,
I like the concept they're going with, why like they're aligned with Paige.
Yeah, I don't know about Absolution though.
I know. I mean, it's different. I'll give them that. Where it's not something really bad like the one they had for Paige, Charlotte, and Becky that they had to change.
Well, what was it?
Shit, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but I remember it was like the name of a porn site.
Oh. I don't know.
I can't remember it exactly, but it was. I do remember that where they had to change it really quickly because if you Googled it, it would take you to like a porn site.
Well, that's not PG.
Yeah, because that's why it was changed so quickly to like PCB with just their like first initials.
Oh.
Which I always thought was kind of funny. I will say this, and I had mentioned it to you. I really enjoyed the match with Roman and Elias. I know some people didn't, because I read up on it, and there was some people that didn't like it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Elias, is, coming along, and Roman's being able to get good matches with people. I mean, like, it's getting to the point where people can't always say, well, it's the other guy in the ring.
Yeah, because that match to me was almost like a showcase for Elias. Okay, show what you can do.
Yeah. I think Roman's come a long way in this time as far as his skill in the ring. Whether or not he's going to get over is a completely different story. But
Oh God, yeah. From where he was a year ago, he's come so far.
although I don't know if it was just my TV, it sounded like he was getting cheered.
Yo, he was. The last 2 weeks, he's been getting cheered.
Like, I expected to hear boos. I didn't hear boos. I heard cheers for him. So I was
Yeah,
like,
for the most part, he's not. He wasn't getting booed.
Yeah, that caught me kind of off guard. I was like, that's kind of cool.
And I liked it. I know some people hated it because I got messages about it. I really liked the shtick they had with Elias and Axel and Bo before the match,
I may have missed that.
where they're Axel and Bo are playing the harmonicas with Elias while he's playing the guitar. It was pretty cool. It was campy, but I liked it.
Yes, sometimes that campy stuff is good. I can
Um,
appreciate it sometimes.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now that because they had Joe attack Roman. I think that could be a fun little matchup.
Yeah, and I think that Roman will be decent in a match like that because it'll be more what he excels at, and that's more the power
Yeah,
than, like, a technical match. But he's done it with AJ. He's done it with Cena. I mean, he's there. It's I don't know. I have optimism, at least for his talent, at least for his IC run. I'm not happy that he's probably going to Mania to win the title.
oh yeah. I'm figuring because Raw doesn't, to my knowledge, they don't have another pay per view till the Rumble. So I don't know if they're going to hold off Roman and Joe till the Rumble.
It's possible. I mean,
And I'd be fine with it. Like, if they're building stories, like, I like it when they have, a month or 5-6 weeks to build a story.
yeah, I see the SmackDown champion winning. I mean, like, the SmackDown guy winning the Rumble, and I see Roman getting it the
In
next
the Chamber.
month at the Chamber. Yeah.
It totally makes sense. I will say the main event for Raw did absolutely nothing for me.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
Balor and Kane.
Oh, yeah. Didn't it start off as Jason Jordan and Kane, and then Jason Jordan got hurt, and then Balor came out? Yeah.
Yeah. Which you could see, at least to me, that they're like slowly, I think, turning Jason Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I would be very surprised if after this they don't.
But the issue I had with this is they basically, like, made Balor look worse off, in this match.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. Vince apparently has soured on him, but I don't know.
Well, and then Balor always makes me laugh because he'll like troll people, like put up these things
Tweets,
on
yeah.
like social media that like shows he just doesn't give a shit.
Well, apparently those were, like, directed at Meltzer. Like,
Okay.
Because, again, Brian Alvarez, I think it was, I listened to something either this morning or yesterday that was kind of talking about that. Like, like, well, why would he be mad at Dave? Dave isn't the one saying he's not over.
Yeah, probably just having fun with him, tongue in cheek.
Yeah, I mean, like, who knows what's going on? you know.
Nobody knows unless you're in the inner circle.
Yeah, for the most part.
But no, it was just, I don't know, man. It was just dull. You know, like with the Kane Strowman stuff. I know what they're trying to do, but it's just like, ugh.
They should have ended it with Kane going through the ring.
Yeah.
They just, you know, like, and now Braun has to get his revenge for the revenge, and then Kane's gonna have to get the revenge for Braun's revenge.
I absolutely agree with you. Where it's like, where does it end?
Yeah.
Like,
well, the logical reason would be throw a guy into a garbage truck and hit the button, but they're already way past that.
Yeah. It's like, what, are you gonna burn him alive?
Didn't Kane do that to, like, Edge?
Yeah, they've gone, like, so past the point of logical and illogical. And this is my thing. If, just as an example, if you know Kane and Braun Strowman are going to fight each other, say, at the Rumble, and you have between now and then to build that match, if you know this, why in God's name are you having Braun Strowman come out the next week after he, like, gets this, you know, issue with his throat and all this stuff and attack him? Like, wait, like, 2-3 weeks, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Because to me, it just makes no sense. It's, oh, he's Superman, you know, he's fine now. You're not supposed to remember he got hurt. And I'm not knocking him, you know, to be negative, but it's just, it doesn't make sense.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing there at all.
I know, it's just, that's just to me, like, because when I think of that, and you'll remember this, because it was when we were kids, when Randy Savage did the elbow drop on the outside to Ricky Steamboat on the guardrail, and they had the big thing where he crushed his larynx, and, like, you know what I mean? You didn't see him on
with
TV.
The ring bell. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that was, like, you know, do it like that. That was, like, awesome the way they did that, where you didn't see him for weeks. Or you saw him, like, going to the doctor and shit like that.
Make it seem real. No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I also think the fans know it's, you know, like, dude's out there posting fucking social media things. If you follow him on Facebook, he's like posting kayfabe shit all the time, like kayfabe breaking shit all the time.
No, I know what you mean. Like, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I don't, you know, it's, I don't know.
I know what you mean, dude. Before we get into SmackDown, don't forget to check out our sponsors over at the Squared Circle Magazine. You can find them on Twitter at TSC Wrestling Mag. Use promo code ASCPOD and you can get 20% off your next order. So, what did you think of SmackDown overall this week, Rye?
Nothing fantastic again. I thought the women's segment was a huge miss because it's like, it's almost as if they're trying to do the exact same thing Raw would.
You took the words right out of my mouth, where they just copied what Raw did.
Yeah, and I don't know. Again, I'm trying to be optimistic about, you know, like, change being good, but that promo just really wasn't good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing really stands out, and that said,
I will say this. I'm intrigued by the Mojo Rawley heel turn.
I don't even know how to put it. I guess at this point, it was just like, that would have been a great idea, like, a month ago.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because even Dean had mentioned this, like, that everyone was talking about how much better SmackDown was than Raw. It's really, like, hit the bricks lately.
Yeah. It really hasn't been a good show as of late. And a lot of it has to do with it's been focused on like Shane McMahon, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
It's basically Raw light.
Yeah.
Because, like, and I don't, and I've always said this because me and Lance have talked about this at nauseum. I don't know if it's a wrestling thing because I've seen Impact do it too. I hate it when you open a show like Raw, SmackDown, whatever it is, and you have your opening segment is a lengthy talking segment. That drives me nuts.
I'm with you on most of that. I have a problem with how it's done the last 10 years.
Right.
I didn't have a problem when it was done with the Attitude Era.
Well, I guess what I mean, if it made sense.
You're right. Yeah, it doesn't set. There is no payoff for that amount of time being spent anymore.
Yeah, because it's like, why in that? Like, for example, when I know Raw's coming on, I'll go, okay, I can go make a sandwich or get a drink or whatever because I know there's more than likely going to be a 20-minute promo and I'm not going to miss anything and they're going to replay it, 5 times during the show.
Yeah, and again, I'm not
I don't want to sound like I'm bashing on them, but I'm just giving an honest critique here.
No, you're right. I personally didn't mind it when the content was good. Like, I remember rushing because I didn't want to miss the start of Raw because I wanted to see, and I knew it was going to be a 15-minute promo because it's always been a 15-minute promo. But back then, it was good. It was stuff that made you want to watch for that 15 minutes. Like, what was going to happen next? Now it's just, it doesn't do it anymore. Like, when you lose people between your first and second hour, there's a problem with how you started your show. And
like, if you see the hour numbers, then this is Raw I shouldn't say every week, but more times than not. You'll see they'll have a drop-off from the first to the second hour, and then the second hour to the third hour falls off a cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, they lose a lot in the third hour.
Because, and I feel bad for these cruiser guys because they just like throw them out there and they're like, okay, do flippy moves. And nobody cares.
No, I agree. They're not doing enough to get people invested in these characters. No,
I agree. Here's a question. Do you think, because on SmackDown they had AJ wrestle the Singh brothers, is that the last time we see them?
I just think they have a hard time going back to being taken seriously after being lackeys.
Yeah.
Maybe they can go back down to NXT because it's not like they got called up for main roster work. They got called up to be his lackeys.
Right. Well, the reason I mention it is they put out like a tweet like thanking WWE or something to the effect of like, for the run they've had, or like implying that they're not going to be there anymore.
Well, I also look at it like this. I don't know what their situation was with the company.
Yeah.
Other than being because there's a couple of guys who, before they got signed to something full, would only come in to like, it was like a Cruiserweight Classic guy would come in to do a job to somebody.
Yeah.
But at least the guy had a name. They came in a couple of times. I don't know if they were ever members of the NXT Raw. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like they were more pay per appearance people as opposed to an actual contract.
Yeah, which is like what I would think. Like, I don't know if Wolfgang has a contract with WWE. I assume he's affiliated with them and legally has some kind of thing. Like, if they're in town, he works for them. But I don't know if he has a WWE contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lance brings up an interesting point. He said maybe that he could see them come back later to help Jinder. As, like, he beat him up to set, like, AJ up, like they did it on purpose.
I mean, they could do that. I think that would be silly writing. Because I've heard a couple people mention that, and I just think that that's, like, lazy writing.
Yeah.
but it's very possible. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if these guys would be anywhere near SmackDown if it wasn't for Jinder Mahal in the first place.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think they're maybe just realizing that they've already gone further than they would have gone otherwise, and if they do lose their job, like they've already far exceeded where they would have been without this.
Oh, dude, I don't think they would have ever made it to the main roster.
So I mean, like, yeah, they got to go around the world on the main roster with the World Heavyweight Champion. You know, I mean, I don't know if they would have had any career in the WWE without him. So
yeah, like Lance says, lazy writing equals WWE.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe they're gone. Maybe this is the last time we see them.
Yeah, just a thought. For what it was worth, I enjoyed the main event with Owens and Orton.
I did, except for like again, like, oh my God, Randy Orton's gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna put you into an ODQ match where you can also use weapons.
Yeah.
Like I never understood that.
Or the other thing with Sami Zayn giving the worst chair shot I think I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just wrestling logic I've never understood. Why you would put a bad guy in a match with no rules.
Yeah.
And how that's supposed to like be a detriment to him. I don't know. That's random wrestling things I think of.
Yeah, no. I don't. The whole vibe to me, with where, and it's just maybe I'm like looking out of the box or something, but it feels like they're leading up to like Daniel Bryan getting back in the ring, or at least that's what it feels like.
It very well could be. I believe that within a year from now, we will be talking about some match Daniel Bryan has wrestled. Whether it's going to be for WWE or not, I do not know. But I know his contract is up this year at some point.
Yeah, it's 2018.
So yeah, I don't know when in the year it's up, but I would be very surprised not to see him in some ring somewhere.
Yeah, because Cody's been petitioning hard to wrestle him at that event him and the Young Bucks are putting on. I don't remember what it's called.
But is he petitioning though? Because I heard him say it. He just said that because he was asked what his dream opponent would be. He said, maybe, Daniel Bryan. I mean, yeah. I may have missed something, but
no, maybe it was just that then.
Because I've seen other sites say like, oh, you know, he's trying to get Daniel Bryan, where all I heard out of that was somebody asked him who his dream opponent would be for something like that, and he just said
Daniel Bryan
would. Yeah.
Nah, maybe people were just reading more into it.
I mean, I think it'd be cool as shit. You know.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just thinking, okay, they want to run a 10,000 seat, arena, then they're gonna have to have a match like that.
Yeah, me and you were talking about it. It would also have to be very heavily promoted, and it would have to be in a big wrestling city where you just have a lot of fans and then just a lot of people, like just by proxy, a lot of people equals more fans. And because that's hard. I've told you, WWE can't fill up some house shows
with 10,000 people.
Sometimes it's like 3,000-4,000 people at a WWE house show in some places.
Oh yeah, depending on where you go.
So I mean, you're talking 4,000 people compared to 10,000 people is a lot of people to get into a building.
Right. Well, this is the thing. Where they're having the Rumble at in Philly, that only holds like, I think 18,000. So it's, you know what I mean? That's a lot of people.
Yeah, you actually took the words out of my mouth because I was going to compare it to MSG, which I think is 17.
Yeah, 17 something like that.
17 or 18. But yeah, that's exactly the scope of what we're talking about. Half of that.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy to think. Chris wants to know, Rye, who do you think and it's obviously a big if Bryan gets back in the ring, who does he wrestle first?
Japan. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he'd go wrestle in Japan. I'm sure they would pay him top dollar. I could see him doing an Omega deal. Could be Cody.
I'm stoked for January 4th. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple of names. Maybe Cody, maybe Omega. That's my two guesses.
If he stays in the E, who do you think? Shane?
Oh, in the E, maybe Shane. Maybe Generico or Owens.
Do you think they would do the Miz one because he does the yes kicks now?
I don't know if you would start a whole program getting him back into the ring over kicks.
I know, it's just a thought because it's not so much kicks, but they had like that big thing with him on SmackDown for a while. Remember?
I think that if they should have done it, it was then while the iron was hot. Because now you're
rehashing,
literally rehashing something.
Yeah.
So I mean,
just a thought.
Possibly, but I could see them doing like Generico or Owens.
That'd be interesting too. Either way, I think if he can get cleared, that's a money match. Whoever he's in there with.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna pay. You know, he was, regardless of what Vince and them think of him, he was the golden goose.
Yeah, I think by the end they really knew what they had. Like, I don't ever see him holding the title again, though.
No, there's too much uncertainty.
I mean, and it sucks that he never got that run that he really should, even if he had one long run. You know, like his dad died the week after he fucking won the title, and he had to give it up a couple weeks later.
And then the poor kid, Connor the Crusher, not too long after that.
Yeah.
So that was a rough time for him.
And then he had to retire.
Yeah, so that's a lot.
So,
that sucks.
Yeah, I don't know, though. I had heard, possibility of CM Punk for Cody, but he's like supposedly training for another fight. And I think
because Dana White was supposed to be meeting with him soon.
Yeah, I think this weekend or last weekend. I don't remember.
It's coming up.
Yeah, I don't remember if we spoke about that this week or last week.
No, I don't think we had talked about it.
So, yeah. But
all right. Moving right along, 205 Live. What were your thoughts this week?
Again, they're really not doing those guys any justice. It's cool that they're getting these guys into 4-ways, so at least more of these guys are being seen. But everything is Enzo Amore.
I know.
And I don't know if it really is getting attention on the show. Now, granted, he's a funny fucking guy. He really is, because he cracked me up. I told you, he popped me big this weekend. I'm like, I don't care about your leg. What are you, Big Kaz?
Yeah, that was savage.
I was like, that is great. Like, that just cracks me up. It's, but in general, it's, I don't think they're really doing these guys any favors.
No. Although it was cool to see Nese and Gulak get a win.
Yeah, I like them together. I really like Gulak. PowerPoint presentation.
You got it. Yeah, I agree with you. Otherwise, and I hate to say it because I try and watch it, but it's just like, it's hard sometimes to watch.
Yeah, a lot of the time, because I know they're not going to really give these guys a hell of a lot of time to work, and here and there I'll watch, depending on who it is. I'll keep it on. I'll keep the audio on, but I'll be doing things in my house, like cleaning up, so I'm not watching as intently as I would watch other things. And it sucks because these are the guys that if they were on the indie scene, I'd go pay to watch, but I just know. Yeah,
I've seen them. Yeah, so I know exactly what you mean.
anywhere near what they're capable of.
Oh, hell no.
So,
And
and
it's a
even if they
shame
were allowed to give
because
like 30%, I'd be happy. But like they're like, here, do all this basic shit.
no,
Like
you're absolutely right.
by skill wise and like Uha Nation, fucking Apollo Crews should be one of the most over people in the company.
Yeah.
But he's not because he's not really allowed to do all the shit that makes him awesome. The stand and flips and all the athletic stuff.
Right. Well, and I've always said he does that stuff great, but he really struggles talking.
Well, I mean, like, then don't really make him talk a lot then. I mean, like,
Yeah,
you
no,
gave him.
that's why I always thought that's why that they put like a mouthpiece with him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so, just have, like, but that's the problem. They're so character driven. Everybody has to have a character instead of just, like, like PWG. A guy it can be their first show ever there. The fans just know them because they're good workers. That's it. They don't have to cut promos. Nobody in PWG really cuts promos. Very few people do.
Oh no. That's just where they do all the crazy stuff. By the way, I started watching it, and like I had messaged you, I watched the first couple matches, and I'm watching Brian Cage, the poster boy for steroids, wrestling. Shit, I can't think. I lost his name that quick. It's not Zachary Wentz. It's Desmond Xavier, which was really good. But I'm watching Cage, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he's so big now.
But he can fucking move, bro.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, and I shouldn't, say that the guy is doing that without, absolutely knowing, but it seriously looks like he is.
He's a big boy.
He reminds me of with that outfit. He reminded me of. Give me a sec. I'll think of Zangief from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Because that's how I looked at him. I was like, wow, he really does look like him. Before we move on to NXT, Chris has the thought that he said that maybe they should put 205 Live before SmackDown as the lead-in, and maybe that would help.
Maybe, but like in California, that would have to come on at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hey, that's a good point.
And if they're filming in California, if they're taping in California, people have to be there 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to be dead anyway. And people aren't going to want to come. Like, at least after the show, they already have the people in the building as opposed to trying to get people there earlier.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you're already here for SmackDown. Stay!
That's why, for a while, apparently, the reason why AJ wasn't fighting on SmackDown, there was like a 3-week period, 4-week period where he didn't have a match.
I remember this because they saved the dark match so they wouldn't leave.
Yeah, he would be the post-show dark match after the tapings for 205 Live, hoping to get people to sit through SmackDown 205 just to see AJ wrestle.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah. It's a valid point. All right, NXT this week, your thoughts?
Not a lot of new stuff, because wasn't it like last week's like a recap of the women's match?
Yeah, well, this was the one where they filmed at basically one of their house shows in San Antonio.
Yeah, very small arena.
The Aztec Theater.
And they had the English for.
Yeah, which was a fun main event.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That I enjoyed. My wife was like, "Why is it in such a small place? Like, why is this so different?"
It had the true indie feel.
Yeah, and I said I would much rather be in that building for that kind of show than.
Yes, they are so much more fun, at least in my opinion.
It's a more personal experience when you're at those shows.
Yes.
And it's like if you have 100% of those people invested compared to like 20% of the people in a big venue, it's like the energy is just different.
No, it's absolutely true. Plus, you can interact with the talent much more, where you're not you don't feel like a number, I guess you would say.
No, I agree. You feel more like a fan. Things feel more interactive instead of there being like that fourth wall there,
Yeah.
even when you're there. Because when you go to WWE, that fourth wall always stays up.
Oh, most definitely.
It's like going to the movie theater. You know you're not in there. You're not going to shake Tom Hanks' hand.
No, that 100% agree.
So, indie wrestling is definitely a much different feel. Like you feel like you're part of it.
Right. I know they had the tag match that you probably didn't care for, with two talents you don't particularly care for, with the Street Profits and Sabatelli and Riddick Moss.
Yeah, I fast forward past that. Especially once I knew that the English guys were on, I kind of just wanted to get to that because Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne are two of my favorites. Andrews is fantastic, and Seven is really good.
Yeah, I
So,
like all those UK guys. I wish come over to the States more.
well, have you heard about like what? Okay, today Regal made an announcement about the belt that they're gonna have a set, four sets of matches. The four winners are gonna be in a fatal four way. Now this was already taped,
Yes, they
but they
taped it on Wednesday.
but now they changed up the card and they eliminated the match Gargano was in, and now he's not part of the tournament at all
For the NXT
for the
title?
belt. Yeah, he was originally in it. I don't know. I think he was supposed to go against Hero possibly in the first round.
Yes, that's true.
Now Hero's going against somebody else.
Now that's very strange, and
Yeah, so but all of this was taped already. So
that makes absolutely no sense.
yeah, so a lot of whatever matches he was in, because I want to say he won it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to spoil it, but yeah, he was the new number one contender.
Apparently, he's not even in the tournament anymore.
Wow.
I think most of the matches are staying the same, but apparently,
The one
like
I want to see, because I read the results, so I'm not going to tell who won, but the one I really want to see is Aleister Black and Adam Cole.
okay, that match is the same. I think the new match is gonna be Ono and maybe Dream, Velveteen
Ooh, that's
Dream.
interesting.
Because there was something with Dream also, and then they said Dream wasn't at the Wednesday taping, whatever that.
Right, and then I know Lars Sullivan is in one of the matches.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because they're gonna have maybe Gargano fight for the UK title again.
It's possible, but yeah, I just found it
But
very
that's
weird.
really strange.
Yeah, because he was taped to be the winner, I thought. And
Yeah, he was
now
supposed to wrestle. Spoiler alert: supposed to wrestle Almas at NXT Takeover Philly.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I haven't wanted to say anything because it's been a spoiler up to this point, but now that he's been announced as not even in it, I don't feel that it's a spoiler anymore, even
No,
though
not
I
at
have it
all.
taped.
But that's. I'm really curious to see where they're gonna go then.
Yeah, yeah, it's just weird. It had something to do with somebody won a battle royal at Dan Seven, I think, won a battle royal at like NXT Lakeland, I think it was, and then somehow he got put into the tournament, but I thought he was already in the tournament to begin with.
Strange.
I think he's the one fighting Sullivan. I could be
Okay.
wrong because I'm not in front of my computer.
All right. Well, here's some news I actually just found out before we went on. Well, I take that back. Someone told me, actually it was Tremont that told me today, because I was at his store today. We were bullshitting, and I wanted to confirm it before I said anything, and it's true. Lio Rush isn't fired. He worked the NXT live show last night in Florida.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, so apparently, I'm assuming everything is like water under the bridge, and everything he was hinting at was him returning to house shows.
Oh, okay.
Because you saw all that stuff that he was like hinting at, where he had like the hourglass on his Twitter. He had like a picture of like the sand and the hourglass going out. And...
yeah, but I thought one of his things said like reflections or something.
Yeah, that's what
like
it was
that.
too.
So, no, I mean, like, good for him. I mean, it's hopefully this scared him enough that, like, you know, he realizes that this is an opportunity that, like, guys like AJ took 20 years to get. Guys like Rude took 15 years to get.
Yeah.
You know, same with Sammy and Owens. And, like, I know the dude got a family and stuff like that, but if you're going to mock somebody else losing the job, I'm not going to feel bad if you get let go. Like, you know, that's karma.
Right. He, like I said, he did a dumb thing. I think he's maybe just turned 23, and, you know, I'm not excusing what he did, but, you know, at that age, we all did a lot of stupid, dumb things.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah,
so
no, I mean,
I'm just kind of like, you know, all right, it wasn't the... See, me personally, and I don't think it was that bad, but I understand why people are upset, and it's just like, okay, just let it kind of, you know, let the water under the bridge go, you know, like pay your dues and then just be done with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just, you know, it's a tale of social media where it's like, think before you put something out, because I've told people this, and I'm sure you would agree, right? If I had Facebook, Twitter, and all this shit when I was like in high school or young, I would have probably gotten in trouble for saying something really fucking stupid.
I don't think I would have gotten into any more trouble than I was getting in for saying stupid shit. I've always had a big mouth. I don't know if
you know.
I don't know if social media really would have made it, you know, would have had that much of an influence on it. But I could definitely see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I had a big mouth before social media.
All right, we're going to get out of here on that note. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us facebook.com/American Sports Connection, or on Twitter at AM Sports Con, CON Pod POD. If you're not listening live, it's on YouTube as well, youtube.com/EaglesFan0683. You can also find us on the B Plus Player Radio. Best way to do that is on Twitter at B Plus Radio, all one word. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff, and we'll see you back next time. Have a good night, everyone.